15 minutes ahead of us. 5-second board goes up. Sean Trainer on his own on the front row, then Paul Cook and Cam Walton on the second row. Red lights go out. The race gets underway then for 15 minutes, and it's Sean Trainer that has made the best of the starts. Paul Cook has got away pretty well in second position as well. And then it looked like Cam Walton in third place, although he was under pressure from Nick Williamson as they came out of Oulton Corner for the first time. We've got through Oulton Corner, that's good news. And we're on board with Daniel Sylvester. I thought we weren't going to get much further then.
Oh, and they're off the leader. Sean Trainer's off, and he's sideways back in front of Daniel Sylvester. Oh, there's one in the Armco barrier there, one of the Mark 1s, I'm afraid. That is 57.
Which is Chris Brown.
Okay, so he's back on. Daniel Sylvester continues. He's ahead of them, Sean Trainer. It's Paul Cook that leads, by the way, from Nick Williamson. And then in third place was Neil Stratton, I think, going really well. There's Cam Walton. So he's actually leading.
He's leading, yeah, so Walton leading.
So it's Cam Walton in front. So very much Daniel Sylvester's made a good start. He's something like 8th, isn't he? There's Trainer, so he's going to have a lively old race, isn't he, trying to come back through the field.
Probably just as well the championship's all been settled, really, isn't it, from that point of view. And no doubt, there's a little bit of rain probably has been enough to cause enough dampness to make the circuit a little bit slippery. And
2x2 through Britons, which isn't easy. Here's Sam Harper, who's with Sean Trainer. So that'd be a good person to follow through the field, really, wouldn't it? The champion from a few years ago, multiple champion. Sylvester's gaining more positions, isn't he, there? Going through, that's Adam Lockwood, isn't he? Was gaining positions there.
Yeah, they're a bit further down the order. We've got Daniel Sylvester, I think, but as we work our way through the first lap, that is the 14 car. That's Gareth Baxter, the Mark 1 champion, who is off the circuit there at Knickerbrook. Wipers definitely on, though. So rain definitely going to be a factor. And having said this was a circuit for the motors, it's now 1, 2, 3 for the Mark 2s in this race. I wonder if the rain tips the balance a little bit. It's Cam Walton leading, Paul Cook second, Nick Williamson third, and it's Adam Lockwood then leading the charge for the Mark 3s.
Cook's alongside here for the lead of the race. He's nosing ahead of Cam Walton across the line. I think they're absolutely together, and Nick Williamson's going to try and buy into this on the inside line. So Cam Walton, who was leading, is going to drop down to third, or on the outside line trying to hang on. He's off the road. There's a touch. They survive. They carry on again. So Adam Lockwood there in fourth. He's involved in this lead battle as well. So it's Cook from Walton, from Williamson, from Lockwood in fourth place. Sean Trainer still inside the top 10, so how far up the order can he get? It's one lap done of the 20 minutes.
15 minutes.
Oh, yeah, 15 minutes. We've got 8 laps earlier. It might be 7 in these conditions. Here's Sam Harper, who's not any longer behind Sean Trainer, is he? I think Trainer's gained a few more positions.
Harper's in 14th at the end of the first lap, so 4 places behind Trainer, so he wasn't able to follow Trainer through at first. You suggested might be a decent idea, but look at this. Great fight up front, and it's now 5 cars because Paul Hinton, number 25, the former champion, has latched himself onto the leading quartet as well. On board again we go with number 24, Daniel Sylvester. He's in a solid 8th position.
Penroe in front. See really all the leaders pretty much together as they come out of Britons. Upper gear and over hill top. Behind him now is Sean Trainer, because Lee Brown has been passed by him. So there's Trainer. So he's trying to pass another of the camera cars. Sylvester raking late there. The car tried to overtake. The back tried to overtake the front, but he was okay. Got through the corner okay. Oh, 2 was on the grass. That isn't ideal, is it? That's not what you want to do in front of the live cameras. Oh, and now Trainer's going to go past him up Clay Hill, I reckon, side by side. On board now again. So he looks over to his right, sees Sean Trainer, and Trainer goes through then up towards Druid. So that is now 8th position for the 4-time champion.
Yeah, so Trainer on this recovery bid is chasing after Ben Rowe. Ben Rowe, runner-up. Last season he's always been a front runner in the championship. As we're watching what's going on a little bit further up there, you've got Hinson, but now he's got Neil Stratton right behind him as well. But out in front, Paul Cook putting a little bit of daylight between himself and Cam Walton, and Walton actually pulling away from Williamson too.
Top 6 are absolutely together, aren't they? A couple of seconds separating them. Trainer's done the fastest lap, half a second quicker than the leader, despite passing 2 cars. Oh, there's another touch, isn't there? That's Hinson trying to get past Lockwood. At the moment, all these touches are survivable. kind of wonder how much longer they can carry that on for, though. But out of Cascades, Paul Hinton, another former champion, there in 5th place, trying to go around the outside of Adam Lockwood to try and make it 4 Mark IIs in the top 4, and he can't do it because Adam Lockwood on the inside line holds on to that position for now.
And I think that the next cars are catching them as well, aren't they? Because Ben Rowe seems to be closing in on Neil Stratton. Obviously, Sean Traynor just behind him. Then you've got Daniel Sylvester and Pete Higton, number 4, who completes the top 10. I think it's Lee Brown, isn't it, in the 86 car that's just outside the top 10 in 11th place. As things stand, we are working lap 3 of this 15-minute race.
So here they come, and Lockwood for the Class C lead is under pressure from Neil Stratton here, and behind Sean Traynor trying to get past Ben Rowe. Again, Daniel Sylvester under brakes in there. Looks pretty sketchy, but get through the corner okay. Yeah, so there's Rowe and Traynor in front of him, and up the road Hinton's gained a place. I see he's got ahead of Adam Lockwood. Here's Maxine Nichols. Who is she chasing after? She's in 19th. So Andrew Ruthven should be in front of her. Who's running a bit wide, out over the curbs. Back on again, so that gives Maxine a good exit up Clay Hill. But she won't have the power of the car in front, so that sort of all evens itself out by the end of the straight here.
Yep, so Maxine Nichols there in the number 17 car. Great to have these onboard views in the Toyo tyres Toyota MR2 Championship, really adding to the coverage of this particular championship as we have its final round of the season. There you can see the 82 car, that is Andrew Ruthven, so it wasn't Ruthven's car that was immediately ahead
Jim
of it.
Cook, 68.
Yeah,
he
it
must
was.
have got past Maxine Nichols.
Yeah, so that was a change. Meanwhile, the leaders have all gone through again in a great big heat. And it's Paul Cook who's now extended his lead to 1.63 seconds in car 26 over 50 Cam Walton and 22 Nick Williamson in 3rd. But we continue to watch number 17 Maxine Nichols in that familiar black and pink checkered design. And she is down there in 20th position, just chasing after Jim Cook and Andrew Ruthven and Gary Patterson, who's a little bit further ahead. But there's our race leader then, Paul Cook in car number 26. He's just had the one win so far this season, but he's won races quite regularly in the past as well.
Sean Traynor looked there, he crossed up out of Shell Oils there. He's got ahead of Ben Rowe, and he's passed Neil Stratton now as well, so he's up to 6th. But you can say Paul Cook getting away up front and he set the fastest lap, so a win might be difficult for Traynor here. Podium might be possible.
It's not beyond the bounds of possibility, is it? That's for certain. So he's chasing after Lockwood and Hinton here.
In the background, Peter Higton having a big move up the inside of Daniel Sylvester and makes it just about.
So, and that's getting the position back. So he was ahead of Sylvester at the start of the lap as well. So he's got dropped to 10th and back to 9th again. Lee Brown just in behind him in 11th place, and the 12th place car there was Jim Mew, isn't it?
Paul Hinton was gaining a place there, but we're watching Daniel Sylvester make his way up towards Druid. Actually, it might have been Hinton under pressure just up the road. You can see all that happening through Druid. You can still see the rain spots on the windscreen. I don't think it's affecting track too much. A couple of 3 seconds off the pace. Yeah, Trainor's got past Hinton. Now he's going past Lockwood. So that's 4th if he doesn't run out too wide, which he may well do.
Yeah, Lockwood trying to come back at him, but it's going to be pretty much side by side between the two of them over the line. Lockwood is going to have the line, but I think track position will be held by Traynor. So yeah, Traynor going through to 4th.
Trainor's just set the fastest lap, 2:05.1, which is the best part of a second quicker than the leader. Someone is having a moment there. That's Peter Higton, I think, who we heard all the tyre squill from going through Old Hall. So into Cascade. So Paul Hinton, who was moving forwards, has lost out now to those 2 roadsters of Traynor and Lockwood. And he's trying to fight back, isn't he? Down towards Island Bend, going up the outside. They're the leaders, smaller gap between Cook and Oulton, with Williamson chasing. Then the quickest driver on circuit, Sean Traynor, in P4. Into the second half of this race now. This is lap 5.
At the rate of progress he's making at the moment, Trainor's going to take probably a couple of laps, though, to get on terms with Williamson, and probably there's only going to be one more lap after that then.
On that lap that he did 2:05, though, he overtook about 3 cars, didn't he?
Well,
so
this is true. So what can he do when he's not overtaking cars, I guess, is the question. But those lap times are a good few seconds off what we saw in the earlier race, which was sort of fully dry. Now it's fluid down, it's a bit of rain in the air as well, so track conditions not what they were pre-lunch.
You had there about the top 12 cars in one shot, so they're still pretty close together, aren't they?
Hugely competitive, this Toyo MR2 Championship, always has been, and many great races it's delivered down the years.
Trainer's caught Williamson pretty much already.
He has, so maybe by the end of this lap actually he'll be with him and can launch an attack on lap 6, which we reckon is perhaps going to be the penultimate one, or will they squeeze an 8th one out of it? We'll have to wait and see.
Neil Stratton having a good race. He's up there in 7th, and Paul Hinton in front runs wide. Is that going to give him a chance down towards Lodge? Well, in front of them, Trainer's already challenging before the end of the lap on Nick Williamson. Outside and trying to cut back perhaps. I don't think he's quite, or has he got a momentum for Old Hall? Has he got the inside line? They start lap 6. Cam Walton's catching the leader in front, and Trainer's up the inside into Old Hall. And is he going to be able to slot past Nick Williamson? Yes, he is. So that's 3rd. He's on a Toyo 3 now, Toyo 3.2. That's a second half quicker than the leader. He might well win this yet.
He could do, couldn't he? Yes, he's exactly 2 seconds behind Paul. Well, yeah, be about exactly 2 seconds behind Paul Cook. Now it was Williamson that was exactly 2 seconds behind at the start of the lap. But of course, he's overtaken him. So it's going
to be very tight whether we do 2 or 3 laps here, whether they checkered it at the end of the next one.
Yeah. Well, Paul Cook is there at the moment, being chased by Cam Walton. The gap between those two is less than a second, and it's just over a second, I think, between Walton in 3rd and Sean Trainer now up into 4th position in the number 27 car, 4-time champion. All of those titles, though, coming in the Mark II, which he campaigned for a number of seasons.
In the background, Ben Rowe just went round the outside of Neil Stratton at Island, which was pretty good. Leaders hop over the curves. Yeah, so
that'll put Neil Stratton down to 8th. He finished the first race in 12th place, so it's a better result on the cards for him this time.
I think Daniel Sylvester's lost a load of places. Here he is. He was 10th, but he's behind 4 more cars. So something went a bit awry for him at the start of the lap. He climbs over Hilltop, heads down towards the Hislock chicane once again. This is lap number 6 of the race. Over the curve he goes. And this very gentle rain still falling over the Oulton Park circuit.
Yeah, so Daniel will be trying to sort of get back on terms with these group of cars ahead of him that he lost time to. He's lost several positions there as we watch Paul Cook and Cam Walton. Walton, I think, a bit closer still to Cook compared to where he was at the beginning of the lap. Yeah, there's only about 2 car lengths between them as they turn their way through Lodge Corner. But the big question is, how much closer is Sean Trainer to them?
Do we have 1 or 2 laps left? Is another question.
Well, the black and orange mechanical warning flag is being shown. There's no last lap board, but possibly it's...
So there's 2 minutes and 12 seconds left, and they're doing 2 minute 4.
Yeah, so they should get 2 more laps then by that.
Paul Hinson's on having a bit of a moment there. Runs out wide.
And the question that I was asking, 1.32 seconds is now the gap between Paul Cook and Sean Trainer. But Cam Walton is the more immediate focus in Paul Cook's mirrors, though, because he's right with him now. Cam, who has won 1 race so far this season, as has Paul Cook. They'd both like to end the season on a high. That's Gareth Baxter, isn't it? That's stopped down there on the approach to Hislops. He's out of the race. And that is the number 19 car, Cameron Bell, going off the circuit at Lodge Corner and losing a little bit of ground, but he was well down the field. Anyway, just trying to see exactly where he was. He was, in 29th position at the end of the previous lap.
Battle for 4th into Britain. There's 6 of them involved, headed by Nick Williamson. And Adam Lockwood, Paul Hinton, Ben Rowe, Peter Higton and Neil Stratton. Yellows flags here, of course. But Cam Walton is right with Paul Cook, the leader of this race, and Sean Trainer through the chicane, much quicker than the 2 in front, and there's going to be a bit of traffic possibly to deal with before the end of this race. So very close indeed. As they go down towards Druids here, Cam Walton having a look, but in his mirror he's got Sean Trainer kind of come round the outside of him. There's a touch was there between the top 2. It got very close as Cam Walton tries to get alongside Paul Cook. He can't manage it. They pass the slower cars. Not any checkered flag being prepared, is there, Ian?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, so it looks like we should get another lap out of this as they turn their way through Lodge Corner. Trainer right on the bumper of Cam Walton. who's not much further away to Paul
Last
Cook.
lap board goes out, so last lap board going out to these three. So a grandstand finish for the 2021 Toyo Toyota MR2 Championship. The championship will be resolved in favour of Aaron Cook, who's not taking part in this race. But so any one of these three drivers could win it. Two of them going wide there, Cook and Trainer. Walton was the tidiest through Old Hall Corner that time, and he's going to try and attack Paul Cook down into Cascades as the wipers are going. So the track conditions are a little bit on the tricky side now. So 3/4 of a lap to go for either Cam Walton or Sean Trainer to find a way past Paul Cook.
Can they do it though, if the leaders make their way down towards the Shallows hairpin there? Battles though continuing a bit further back, but here are the leaders. And Cam Walton to the outside. Is that going to allow Sean Trainer through though? Possibly. Trainer's alongside. Walton on the outside gives himself a bit more speed, and Paul Cook is just broke away because of all of that. Behind Paul Hinson, is he alongside Adam Lockwood for fifth? Not really a place you can overtake though.
Not really. It's a bit single file through Britons, isn't it? So they took back in behind, and it's Nick Williamson just ahead in fourth place as well. So down to Hislops for the final time here, and Lodge Corner, the overtaking opportunities. Sean Trainer trying to be later on the brakes than Cam Walton into Hislops, and he's gone through into second position. So Sean Trainer, after dropping to about 14th place on lap 1 when he went wide through Cascades, he's back to second place now, and there is still this chance that he could get the win here. Be a great comeback drive and a race where it's been the Mark 2s to the 4. The leading roadster exponent in this race has been pushing on hard. There's traffic ahead. I don't think that's going to come into play before the end of the race though, because the checkered flag now being prepared through Druids. Lodge is where he's going to need to make an attack. How far behind is he? It's difficult to tell exactly how far back he is at this stage, but he's later on the brakes. Does he brake at all? He must do. He gets through, and he takes the lead of the race at Lodge Corner, the final corner of the race, and Sean Trainer is going to come up to the line and take the checkered flag, and he goes out on the 2021 Championship, second in the standings, but on a high because he wins the race at the final corner from Paul Cook and Cam Walton. I didn't think that was going to happen, Josh.
No, it was a long way back at the end. Daniel Sylvester's off the road. He's had a lively race, but yeah, great drive by Sean Trainer. That was entertaining stuff, wasn't it, from him?
And Nick Williamson, who was fourth across the line, has got a 5-second penalty. That'll be for a track limits infringement, so that's going to drop him back to 9th place, I think. We're on board with Maxine Nichols.
She's just behind Jim Cook, who I think is Aaron's dad, is he not? Champion of the year, but they're going to be 17th and 18th positions, I think, across the line.
Yeah, and the rain you can see on the windscreen, only light drizzle really, but nevertheless I think that has had a bit of a bearing on this race. There is our race winner though, Sean Trainer. Well, I should think the adrenaline was coursing through his veins in that race.
The Mark 1s again were nose to tail at the end. This time Dave Hemingway beating Nathan Harris in that half a second.
But Sean Trainer winning Class C, and the overall race here from Paul Cook and Cam Walton, who will probably both be disappointed, bitterly disappointed not to get a win out of that when they saw Sean disappearing off the circuit at Cascades on the opening lap. And still battles being resolved here. That's the number 70 car of Stuart Briley. He's just ahead of 58. That's Micah Brown as they make their way up to take the checkered flag, some of the final cars to go across the finishing line. Adam Lockwood, by the way, he will be 4th in number 11, 5th it will be number 25 Paul Hinson, 6th number 2 Ben Rowe, 7th number 4 Peter Higton, 8th 84 Neil Stratton, 9th will be 22 Nick Williamson once his time penalty has been applied, and Lee Brown, number 86, will round out the top 10 at the end of that 16th and final round of the Toyo Tyres Toyota MR2 Championship, which we've greatly enjoyed, and we our appetite very much whetted for the 2022 season already. We're really looking forward to that.
The other good news is this curse of final rounds of 70th Club seasons is finally over.
Well, yeah, you were the one that invented and had spotted this pattern, so I'm glad that you've also noticed that it has come to the end.
So with a very exciting race as well.
Wasn't it just? Wasn't it just? And in fact, the final car just taking the line now, the 55 car of Martin Davis at the end of that race, just as Sean Trainer arrives at the end of his slowing down lap and heads into Parc Fermé. Marshall's signalling the leading drivers to their parking positions at the end of that race, so they can be presented with their garlands and caps, and they'll get to have a word with John Ratcliffe as well. So fantastic racing from the Toyota MR2 Championship. There is still another 2 races to go today here at Oulton Park. Coming up next, we're going to have the Heritage Park Centre Formula V Championship. We'll round out the day with more tin-top action from the high-tech electronic materials Alfa Romeo Championship. So still plenty of races to come. Let's head down to John Ratcliffe once again. He is going to talk to, no doubt, a very excited Sean Traynor.
Wow. What an ending to that one. We saw Sean battle up through the pack, obviously been in it on the first lap, battling back through and taking the win on the final corner. You don't see that in Formula 1, but you do see it here in the 750 Motor Club. Let's go and have a chat to some of our gentlemen. Sean, can I have a quick chat with you? I feel like I need to bow or something before I come and chat with you, mate. That was incredible.
Oh, well, I was a bit annoyed about making that mistake into the first corner. It wouldn't have been so bad, but we'd come through the first corner and Paul had gone out wide, but we'd come around together and I'd sort of lost it a bit. So he was going to come in the back, so he had to brake, he pushed in wide, so I had a gap anyway. So why I didn't brake earlier for the corner. Next thing I'm going through the gravel and I'm thinking, oh, I lost 1 or 2 places. And I looked and they're just going, oh, I don't know, I think I was about 14th or 15th.
Yeah, I think I saw was sort of 11th or 12th maybe. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's a shame, that's him gone. But then suddenly, you're back up through the pack, you got onto the back of these guys, and then that dive on the final corner.
I didn't think I was going to catch these two, but they were battling with each other so much that it sort of let me come back in. And I'd noticed Paul was holding Cam, he was braking, sort of holding his position. And I thought, and I'd watched where they've been braking. I thought, if he breaks there, I'll chuck a move up the inside.
Yeah.
But
I saw it was very last minute. I saw you see him and go, oh, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, no, I would. But I thought he braked early, and I thought that there's going to be the room. But like I said, we've raced side by side for a fair few years now, and we don't come together very often. Yeah. So
no, that was awesome, mate. Second this morning, a win, very much deserved in that one. So well done, mate. Cheers, thank you. Let's have a chat with who was our second place man, Paul. Well done, Paul. You were leading for ages on that one, having a great battle, and then just losing it on the final corner.
No, I got a good bit of a gap on Cam for quite a lot of the race, and I missed the gear, which brought him close to me again. And then I could see Sean towards the end of the race at the back of Cam, and I was just hoping they were going to be racing together and just hold each other up. But it wasn't the case. Sean got past Cam quite easily, and then I didn't realise it was the last lap. I would have done something about blocking him. Don't know what I'd have done, but yeah, it was a good race. Really.
Yeah, you made a fantastic move earlier in the race to take the lead, and then held him off for absolutely ages. So you should still be very happy with your performance.
No, yeah, it's a good end to the season. Had a brake issues most of the year actually, but we sorted those out after quali today, and the car's back to where it should be and getting results again.
Exactly. Congratulations on the P2, mate. Thank you for speaking with us. And then finally, we got Cam to speak to again. Spoke to you earlier, 3rd place. This time, 3rd place again. How's that feel, mate?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I mean, completely different kind of 3rd place to the first race. Had a lot of fun battling with Paul and Sean in that one. I mean, it was tricky towards the start of the race. Obviously, a little bit of rain.
Yeah.
Different on different corners of the circuit. So being the pioneer for the first lap was pretty tough. Was kind of okay having Paul lead the way and hoping to catch him in at the end, and then the time that I caught him, Sean caught me, and we all kind of ended up together on the last lap.
So how did the rain affect things? Like you were saying, it was kind of different in different corners. What was it like out there?
Yeah, I mean, some corners were incredibly slippery. Second chicane, it's like kind of the high-speed stuff. You want to be a little bit careful, so kind of chipping away at it as the race went on. Someone dropped coolant on the final corner, so. Yeah, there was a lot to deal with, but good fun.
Yeah, exactly. No, great fun, and you did a fantastic job getting that P3, so thank you for chatting with us, mate, and congratulations.
Cheers.
But fantastic. What a race sent on the final corner. You don't see that very often. And hopefully, we'll see another interesting race in our next race. It is the Heritage Park Centre Formula V Championship.